2.
Oh,
We're in the podcast game. We are in the podcast game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Shaw, listen, now that we're in the podcast game, my Instagram feed is filled with other podcasts.
Oh.
And, I got to scroll here through the password there for me real quick. I got to show you a fun video real quick. Just scrolling through these videos, and, I came across this one video of this guy talking about parenting. All right?
Yep.
And
what about parenting?
Well, I just want you to react to it. I want to show it to you. I want you to react to it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what he would do if he was a parent.
Right? So he's not a parent. He must have a lot of experience.
He said, "I just want you to listen and react, and we'll play it for the audience as well." Go ahead, Shaw.
When I'm going to have kids, I feel like that is one thing that I will not just do. I will not just say, no, you're not doing that. I think I'll take a step back and say, okay, do what you're doing. I'm going to observe. I'm going to educate myself. We can have a discussion about that.
South Asian parents, Desi parents really abuse no.
Even before you say it.
Mm-hmm, just no.
Even till this day.
And you're not ever supposed to question.
Pretty crazy. And the guy has no experience. Why is he talking all this?
Right. Yeah. So me, I'm a troll, right? I'm a troll. I troll you. I troll everybody. And I just over here we say the shiz that has to be said, right? That's why it's called Shiz Happens, right? And so I commented. Shaw, read my comment. You'll see it on there. Can you read it for the audience? What did I say?
I'm not gonna look for it.
No, you have to. Open it up. Hit comments.
Here?
Yeah, right there. What do I got? What did I say? It's the first one. You'll see it.
No, it's not.
Maybe it's not here then. You'll see it right here.
It's gone. They deleted it. They don't like it.
Did they really delete it?
I told you, wasted my time.
Oh my god. They deleted the comment. This is new developments. Producer RF.
We're going to have to put another comment.
You saw the comment I sent to you earlier in the week?
Yeah, I see that.
All right, well.
I have no involvement in this. Those lawyers who were listening. These two are in cahoots.
All right, so what I said, and I'll be very blunt. I said.
Fairly blunt.
I said that non-parents talking about what they would do as a parent is the stupidest thing in the world.
Wow, that's strong.
And I also said that your nieces and nephews don't count as your kids.
Unless you adopt them.
But they deleted it. Wow. Man,
they really like you.
I'm not. I mean, you saw the recording who it was. I'm not gonna call them out by name or whatever the case is. Whatever, that's okay. Whatever.
I know their house address.
No, we'll yeah. They didn't want it. They didn't want it. It's their choice to delete it. But hey, that was the impetus of what I wanted episode 2 to be about today. Parenting in the South Asian and the Desi world. Shaw, listen, I have a son. Fairly young, about 2 years old, but my man over here, 3 kids.
3 known kids.
Shaw, give us the ages of your kids. Let us know.
I'm not gonna give accurate ages because I don't trust you guys in the audience, but a teenager,
high schooler,
in the
thick of high school,
and we call it grammar school. What do you guys call it nowadays? Middle school. So, and then a youngster as well.
So you got a kid in high school, you got a middle schooler, and you got a shorty.
Yep.
Awesome. So 3 kids. Shaw's got 3 kids. I've got a kid. I think we're better suited to talk to you guys about what parents would do as parents than the person that we just listened to. So let's jump right in. Shaw, I want to take it back, right? Forget talking about us as parents. Let's talk about us growing up with parents and the things that we went through. Right? I think that's a really good place to start.
Oh man, there's all ages for that, but we were poor, starting off. I know most of the audience probably, the first generation people in this country, tough beginning.
Came with nothing.
Came with nothing. My dad came solo here back in the 70s or 80s, did his thing, got his education, got married, and then, we came along, my sister and I, my brother. And then we lived in a rough part of the city, northwest side initially. Now each property is millions of dollars.
I was going to say, is the north side still rough?
Yeah, no longer. So we did that, but my dad's discipline was we'll talk as we expand this conversation, but he's very loving always, but also strict, very, very strict. So that's where it became kind of tough. The common careers are like doctors, lawyers, engineers.
No. Right? What do you mean by strict?
Good question. Not to go out, not to
belts.
Yep. The belts, the remote controls you toss at me. I was like, I don't want to watch TV right now.
Let's go. You said not going out. You weren't allowed to go out?
No.
Either was I.
Not just with girls, but just not go out at all. We're talking about grammar school here. High school and college, we can talk about all of that as we
Got a little freedom.
yeah, got a little bit more freedom as I got more stronger to, flex at my dad when he wasn't looking. But yeah, I mean, couldn't do anything. I remember my grammar school just came home 3:30 and just put a book in my bedroom. And luckily I had a bedroom I was sharing with my brother and my sister. We had like a 1-bedroom apartment back in the day. And just sharing and living, enjoying. Life was good then. Don't get it twisted. It was a simple life. It was a wonderful life, but it was a strict life. My dad wouldn't let me out play with my friends. Back then, my friends were mainly Hispanics and blacks and whites, South Asian.
There weren't a lot of Desis back then.
There weren't. I mean, I don't know where you guys all came from. Like, where were you guys when I was growing up in like '85,
Yeah,
right?
Seriously.
Yeah, where was you guys? I don't know how we all lived separately. Then all of a sudden, we all found Devon, right? Little
Yes.
India. But basically, my dad was strict. Come home and hit the books. And even if I'm not studying, no homework, I couldn't watch TV, no video games. We couldn't afford video games. That's when, I think it was 1985, 1987 when Nintendo came out, the first version. But Sega and Atari and all this other stuff. But I would just have a book in front of my face, door closed, and my dad would peek in. I'm studying, my sister's studying, and that would be it.
Were you actually studying?
I had comic books and, dirty magazines.
That's what.
Yeah, don't edit that out. But yes, mainly comic books, and I'm lying. Here's a wink. But yeah, behind the book, that was it.
Yeah. I mean, same thing, dude. I was expected to come home after school. I was really deprived of a social life. The only people I could hang out with were like my cousins and my parents' friends' kids. Right. That's it.
Family. That's what they trusted. Right. That was the problem. So
Yeah. I obviously there was no like going to birthday parties for classmates for me or anything like that. And honestly, it affected me a lot. I did not grow up with many friends when I was in grade school, primarily because I think I just wasn't able to hang out with them. You can't really talk to people in school, right? You're in passing period, you're in class. It's not like you can't that social in class. You might have a little bit of recess there, here and there, lunch, whatever the case may be. But that sheltering really, it bogged me down. Right? I think I missed out on a lot of things, for better or for worse. Right? I guess I don't quite understand why we were always so sheltered, but they just.
it's protection, right? Fear of what's the unknown, what's out there, right? You go with a bad group of friends. Back in the day, I mean, today everyone has guns and knives. Back in the day, when I was growing up, we're talking about Mather High School, the north side, northwest side, all sorts of high schools. I just remember Mather High School and Lane Tech, Roosevelt, and all these other places. But it was basically violence. A lot of Amundsen was crazy. Taft, Sen. Yeah, it was a lot of gangs. A lot of Adidas worn jumper tracksuits. No one was running track, but it was mostly just breakdancing on the street and getting into street fights, and that's what
I
it
did
was.
not go to school in that area. I went to school in a very nice area.
Yeah, you're rich. That's the problem.
Well,
Goody two-shoes.
but I still couldn't go out, right? I still couldn't go out.
No, I'm not saying that. You asked why, right? So it was the protection our parents had. They were extra afraid. Even in nice, you could be in the most richest part of Chicago or the United States. It's about first. Remember, you got to keep in mind, first generation. Our parents were very, protecting, stay in the nest, don't want to go out. Gangs, drugs, alcohol, girls, boys in some cases, but we were scared, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why. And we understand now. You understand why as a parent, and your child's young, and my children may be young and old, but I'm also as protective. The only difference is, and we'll get into that, social media, we have tracking.
Yeah, we'll talk
right?
about that. We'll
So,
talk about that.
yeah.
But let's finish up over here. Look, I definitely sheltered myself as a kid. Desi parents, I think everyone can relate. Like, we weren't allowed to do much. It took us a lot of convincing to get our parents to do a lot, and even then it wasn't hard. Not much of a social life, right? Like I said, not many friends. Did you ever go on vacation? I never went on vacation. We went to Pakistan. That's it. Did you go anywhere?
Pakistan was really not a vacation. It was, but it was because it's like you were fobs, right? So our parents only knew one place. They didn't know about Disney World. Didn't know California. Nothing, right?
Yeah.
People do now. The common thing people want to go is Cancun, right? For example, but it was none of that. It was none of that. People couldn't afford it, and they would save. Our parents would save, and then only fly to one destination. And I remember we would spend the whole summer there. Like 3-4 months, India, Pakistan, brutal hot, exactly, 110, and that was life. We're little kids, we thought that's all we knew, right? Today's generation, again, I'll be pointing out to social media and internet, much blessings, much flexibility. We're able to explore. There's so many websites you can go to and see, hey, I want to go see this place, this destination. So,
in any event, Shah, question.
I'm not answering.
Give me a time where you were overly sheltered as a kid.
Like I said, I mean, even when I had a project, right? It was a group project, let's say a science project, and back in the day we do poster boards. Today
Yeah.
have Microsoft, was it the PowerPoint, the
Yeah.
slides and all that.
Yeah.
But we're going back in time. But it was the little poster board that you would all get everyone would get at Walgreens, the little white one, trifold, for like 79 cents. It would never stand up during your science project. It would fall down. You prop it up from the back. You guys all know what I'm talking about. But that would be it. We would put the little stickers on and all that. The bottom line was you had to go to the library and meet your
Group.
your group, and they were of all walks of life. It was a mixed pot, right?
Yeah.
You would have the black
You don't
folks,
get
the
to
white
control your
folks.
group.
Yeah, you can't. The teacher picked it, and you shouldn't pick it. That's
Yeah.
discrimination, racism, which is either good or bad, but we shouldn't be doing it, right?
Yeah.
So it would be hard. Like I would always have an excuse. I remember, like to my project team, it was like, "Oh, I can't come to the library. You guys do this portion of it. When you bring the poster board back to school, I'll work on it during school time." And that was it. My dad, and I know it's school related, but he thinks it's crazy. You shouldn't be out after 3:30. You're home.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go anywhere. So that's the example that comes all the time. So
I mean, for me, it was just like I couldn't go out to play basketball with certain kids.
the reason for that because you didn't know how to play ball. So
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He was sheltering me from myself, I guess.
Protecting from being
Protecting me
jumped.
from myself.
What was that Fresh Prince of Bel Air? Didn't jump to
I mean, look, it's just unfortunate some of the things that we went through as a kid, very much sheltered, and that's why I kind of get with. I don't want to completely shit on this kid that was talking over here. I think that he makes some points, right? I think what he's trying to say is, listen, I'm not going to do that over protection, over shelter, and just say no life, right? I am going to sit back and observe. Look, once again, as a parent and as a child that went through some rough parenting, not rough, parents were great.
Fair.
Just went through just went through immigrant first generation parenting. Let's talk about that. Let's call that. Let's say it that way. Someone that went through it that way. I can understand what he's talking about, right? Like it's just South Asian parents. Sometimes they just say no. They don't take time to like assess the situation, and they just if there's an unknown, it's a no, right?
Absolutely.
There's no assessment done at all, right?
Lack of trust and comfort.
But the thing is, right? Like as a parent now, right? Even with our 2-year-old, there's things that I will just absolutely say no to without thinking because I know there's just it's an automatic, right? Hey, sorry, you're not doing that, right? And I'm sure you have that with your kids too, but I'm sure you have a little bit of flexibility with your kids as well. So I want to talk about you as a parent right now.
Well,
right?
things have evolved, right? Me
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
let's
parent
talk
versus
about
when I
that.
was young. I've already explained to you about how strict my dad was, and no ding on him and my mom and dad. They were really great, blessed people. But you have to loosen the leash, right? Not a short leash.
How do you do that?
I mentioned that, and I think my examples will come as we increase
Sure.
the ages, high school and college and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of transitioning from like the middle school, high school, like middle school to high school.
Yep.
Is you have to trust them, right? They came with straight A's, for example, one quarter, and then let's say the physics or the biology.
Straight A's.
Yeah. For example, I said
Father of the year, right?
no,
here.
not me. No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about an
No,
example.
yeah, your kids got straight A's. You're Father of the year.
Yeah. No. I was.
You must work really hard with them.
No, I hardly work with them actually. But, shout out to my fam. Everyone works hard, but the point is let's say they got all A's, and then in the project they got a C, for example. The reason for it, he can say that my child, he or she can allude to saying, "Hey, you didn't let me out to that project," and then I realized I grew from there.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, they didn't finish that project. They messed up. That was my fault.
No.
And we grow from
Stop.
it.
Stop.
Hammer time.
Talk to me about how you've personally loosened the leash.
I got there by just empowering them. Like library, right? There's Chicago public libraries and all libraries all over the nation. They were always there. My dad and mom would allude for us to go there. We never really went there. Even today's generation, I tell my kids, I tell his friends, go to library to do studies. No one studies. Today's kids study on the desk. They study in their bed, which is very bad studying habits. If you ask me, we did it, of course. But like as you get older, you have to concentrate, blah blah blah. But you loosen them up. We're sending them to if there's projects in school library or school projects, stay in the school after school or regular public library, and then getting to people's houses. Again, we're getting into the tracking of whose house you're at. Trust the person.
You keep saying that word, tracking. Talk to me about that. What do you mean by that?
So I'm not trying to concentrate on one. Today's they have GPS systems. It's not just on your phone for Google Maps and all that, but they have tracking. It's wonderful. Like Apple Tag has come up. They have so many different tags. Yeah, They have so many more different tags.
Are you telling me you have trackers on your kids?
My wife has tracking on me. I don't know. Yeah, I had to change clothes before I enter this studio. But yeah, she's tracking me. Everyone's getting tracked, right? That's what the government does.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
No,
US
but
government.
you track your kids.
I mean, they have the phone app, the phone tracking,
Yeah.
but more so they have like Apple Tag.
Mhm.
You know, those who drive, you can attach it to there and kind of move on.
But you personally, you're tracking your kids. What does that help you do?
I don't do it personally. My family, my wife does. I don't. I really don't care.
How does that help you guys? What do you guys do for it?
It doesn't help me. It adds on stress to her, which is wonderful, so she can leave me alone. But it's mainly, yeah, I don't really track. It helps, of course. You want to know where the kids are at. They're at the mall. They're at their friends. Where are they? You know.
You have 3 kids. I want to know how you said you were sheltered. Your parents were overprotective. How are you with your kids? Are you the same? Are you different?
No,
How are you different?
No, I'm a lot different. Good question. I am a friend. I think it's a real important advice to everyone who cares about my advice is be a friend. So I act like a fool at home, even in public. You know, I think I always throw jokes.
You do?
Well, I try to. No one laughs. That's the other problem. But you know, my kids, I tell them I'm a amateur comedian. But of course they don't believe that. My wife absolutely hates my jokes, but you know, I think it's how you break the ice with the kids, right? I think it's really important to talk to them, be a friend, not a parent. I'm not a dad, I'm a friend. So I tell them all the time, hey, if they ask me for things that they need, like shoes, clothes, or they want to go with friends, I kind of, you know, loosen the leash on that. But you know, to tell you the truth, I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous about that. From what they want to do. I don't know if I want to let them cut loose and be what they want to be.
So I mean, look, the over sheltering, the overprotectiveness of the kids is something that I think we can agree, not good, right? You didn't benefit from it, I didn't benefit from it. Do I still shelter my kids to an extent? Yes. Do you? We'll find out. Do you shelter your kids still, do you think?
I think no. I think things have evolved, right? During the examples I gave you earlier regarding my parents to today, we have so many different options, so
Yeah.
many blessings.
Let's
right?
jump into that. I want to talk about you as a
So
parent.
one thing I do is GPS, the tracking. I think tracking. They have an Apple AirTag. I have an Apple iPhone. It's awesome. I get to see where they're at. I don't know how accurate it is, but it gets me to where where it leads me to be comfortable with them.
You track your kids?
Yeah. You don't track your kids?
Kids too.
Oh.
I know where he is all the time.
Oh, he's in a playpen. Yeah.
Wait, you track your kids?
Yes.
How do you guys out there track your kids? Wow. I mean,
You know what? When my
And
daughter
your parents-
goes out, I have her turn on her location on her
Okay.
on her Google Maps.
Producer
when she
R?
goes to the park. When
Really?
she goes to the park, yeah.
okay. Do your kids know they're being tracked?
The young ones don't, but the old one does.
I mean, the young ones, they may not.
There are some crazy.
They may not
out
be
there,
none the
man.
wiser. Okay, so your older
You wanna
kids
know
don't.
where your kids at.
So your 2 older ones know they're being tracked. How do they feel about that?
I don't really care.
You
Next
don't really
question.
care. Yeah, no, that's good. That's
No,
good.
I'm joking.
You
No,
know,
no, no, no.
sometimes
That's
my
good.
daughter, she actually turns it on without me even telling
Yeah,
her.
that's good.
That's
no,
awesome.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's,
For me, I feel bad, but I think it's important because it's all about protection.
no,
and security.
I kind of like it. You say your kids know, so they know they're being tracked,
Yep.
right? There's obviously ways to manipulate it. I'm sure your kids have probably manipulated it,
Yep.
but you think that's helped you build some trust and let go a
Oh,
little bit?
completely, because I know where they're at. Like when we were growing up, I tell my dad I'm at the library when I'm at the theater.
Yeah, you would go somewhere else. Yeah,
So-
for sure. I would do that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, I'm going here.
Or the club.
Not going there.
Yeah, Whitby clubbing. So so it's very, very comfortable, very welcoming.
Yeah.
Internet's a blessing. Don't know where they're at. These advanced cars have the tracking. I forget the apps that you use, or you have to make a subscription, but it's fantastic. I'm very comfortable with my kids, very trustworthy. They do what they need to do, and just continue to move on. So
Okay, so talk to me about how you're still a little similar to your parents then. So you're different, you trust them a little bit, you let them get out a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? Because you know where they're at, right? And that's awesome, right? That's more than I can say that happened to you and I guess,
Yeah.
right? We weren't really allowed to even go out that much. But do you still think you shelter your kids? You
I
track
do.
your kids?
I do. Unfortunately, I do. I have the same syndrome my dad. It's being South Asian. We have to trust. We don't, right? They're gonna get involved in something bad and foul, drugs, alcohol.
Yeah. It's still there.
yeah,
I think everyone feels that way. Look, listen, the way you parent, you parent off of your experiences driven by what you saw.
That's what happened. My experiences were tough, and what we witnessed in public schools and high schools, it's been bad.
Yeah.
And you think that's ended? It's gotten worse, and there's more types of drugs and more type of use and abuse and alcohol. So it's really bad if you ask me. So I'm still psycho. Unfortunately, I know you're probably.
How are you psycho?
like doing the same thing. Like one of the biggest things is I like for them to be home before sunset.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in that. You know, there's evil in the dark.
Okay.
So I don't like anyone to be out, but I go out after it gets dark.
We go after.
No, but you know,
Okay, like, so your kids got to be home by sunset. How do they feel about that?
I mean, right? Again, they're young, so they're okay. My oldest like to be out later. I know it's gonna happen. I've been there, done that. I came home at 2, 3 a.m. And my mom would chain up the door, and I'm knocking and kicking the door. She wouldn't let me in, because this is back in the day. She's like, "Oh, this is a lesson."
You know you're in trouble when you hear birds chirping.
Yeah, it's almost morning. It's dawn. So my mom wouldn't let me in because she wants to know what time I came. But if it's changed, she has to go open it.
All right.
Yeah, the slippers are waiting.
All right,
The
so let's
chapels.
talk about that. Right, let's talk about that. Right, when like I said, we were sheltered, but obviously we found ways to break the rules, get out, have fun, do what we need to do. But eventually, once in a while, you get caught. Should you ever catch your kids? You ever catch your kids doing something they shouldn't do? And what did you do? How did you react? Did you react like your parents did? Did you
I
whip out
grabbed
the
a
chain?
chapel. You know what a chapel was?
What did you do? No, seriously. Can you give us a little anecdote?
No, my kids are still too young. But like myself, got caught. Right, I was like I said, I was supposed to be at the library, I'm at the theater, and it's for some reason.
You don't have a story of your kids lying to you?
No, they're too young.
Muslims never lied to you about going anywhere? They never said anything?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, go ahead.
I can make one up. Give me one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me one.
I can't give you one. I thought you would have one.
No, not yet. He's too young. He's 15, 16. I mean, I'm sure he lied. How about this? Maybe I didn't catch him, and I'm getting old.
Yeah,
But,
there you go. You're like your dad. You couldn't
Yeah,
catch him.
yeah, I couldn't catch him. Well, I mean, that's not because of his age. We were smarter. We had more technology, whatever the technology was in the 90s.
Yep.
Now it's even crazier. So I know like type of scenarios like, you know, going where they shouldn't be going, right?
Yeah.
Bars, clubs. I mean, if you go, invite me, you know, like I'm here to protect you. Sprite, please. Hold the rocks. But yeah, that's important for, you know, like I like for them to be there. I'm not psycho. When they get older, I probably am, but you know, as they get older, you have to loosen the chain, do what you need to do, just remind them of the dangers of the world. So
Yeah.
there's cameras everywhere. We're growing up, there's no cameras in people's
that's the other
pockets.
thing.
We had pagers. What would you do with the pager? Now everyone has a phone in their
Yeah.
pocket.
Yep.
You're being recorded at all costs. So
Yep. All right. So I want to jump into another topic. This is big. You said you have 3 kids, right? You have daughters. You have a son. How do you feel about hanging out with the opposite gender? Well, first of all, what about as a kid? Were you allowed to hang out with the opposite gender?
No,
No.
Strictly. Right now, I can't hang out with the opposite gender because my wife won't let me.
That's a different story.
Shout out to my wife.
Different
But
story.
yeah, it's been a tough life for me, man. I didn't have much opportunity to hang out with the opposite gender since I was born to date. Still working on it, but I think it's strict, you know, due to the culture and the faith, but mainly the culture, if you ask me.
Yeah.
If I go out, you catch me at a restaurant with the opposite sex, 80,000 thoughts go through your mind.
Yep.
Through the person who caught me. When maybe that's my realtor, maybe that's
Yeah.
my tenant, or maybe that's my girlfriend or
Yeah.
my mistress. But the problem is our culture, the older uncles, they'll call your dad right away. Where did I see this guy? He's at a, you know,
Yep.
Devon having chai with his so-and-so. So the problem is we jump the gun. The non-South Asians, it's normal. You know, they'll approach the male and female. They'll shake their hand, hey, enjoy your lunch. They might even pay for the meal, then they'll leave. But we're crazy.
Look. I was not allowed to hang out with the opposite gender. I think more so than staying away from drugs and alcohol, my parents wanted me to stay away from
It's
girls.
so crazy what you just said. More than drugs and alcohol, stay with the opposite sex. God forbid you fall in love with her.
Yeah. It's you know, and
So crazy.
honestly though, but like the thing I'm gonna say is like, I hung out with girls.
How dare you?
I know you hung out with
Nope.
girls.
Denial.
Stop lying.
No,
Stop
denial.
lying. Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. I'm denying.
Did you have a love marriage or not?
Multiple love marriages. One of them worked out.
Look, whatever. Right? Look, I hung out with the opposite gender. I was not allowed to, right? And so what that did is like not being allowed to, it made you want to do it more,
Exactly.
right?
Curiosity.
I
Shout out to my Madrasa boys.
Yeah. So I found ways to do it, right? And honestly, some of it like was to my detriment, right? Like I messed myself up by doing that. I did some stupid stuff with girls, right? Partly because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so, you know, like I think
Wrong hole.
Yeah. Look, no, overall, right? But like I think that you simply cannot go your whole life, in my opinion, in this country without talking to the opposite gender, right? It just doesn't happen, right? So how do you feel about your kids and that? And what do you do? How do you deal with that?
Very good. The first part of it before the question comes in is like, yeah, I mean, you shelter them and then they're going to want to do it like you alluded to earlier. But as the kids get older, now I'm transitioning into high school, college, like you'll have to shake the hands of the opposite sex. During an interview, handshake. You're not going to be like, sorry, I don't shake hands like some of our South Asian religious people do. But you have to do that. You have to go out to lunches. We're talking about professionally, right?
Yep.
All walks, you'll have to be involved. I'm not saying I'm agreeing with yes or no, that I don't have an opinion in that, but you'll have to do it one way
I'm
or
not just saying like on one-on-one dates. There's
Yeah.
going to be guys and girls hanging out in a group. You're going to be in that setting, whether it's at work, whether it's in a social environment, right?
And then you're the
like,
weirdo.
Yeah.
Like if at lunch hour, like we both work at companies.
Yeah.
They go out for lunch. No, I can't. There's girls there. I mean, they're like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like you
yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand the faith. I understand the culture, but you have to understand, parents. Like it's going to happen. The more you push them away, they're gonna do it.
No, not even push away. It's going to happen because the system.
You have to. The system.
Living here,
Where-
this is what it is, right?
Leave the country.
Like you go to school. What you think there's only male? Well, you could go to an all male school, but eventually you won't, right? You can go to an all female school, but like,
High schools, they have all male, all girls, all boys.
right? But socially, right, in the professional settings, right? Especially when you get to college, you're not going to like an all there's barely any single gender colleges and things like that, right? It's a world where you got to deal with the opposite gender,
Notre Dame,
right? And a lot of
Morehouse.
a lot of
That's all black.
Morehouse is all black. Spelman, but Spelman is right next door, by the way, and it's all girls,
Yeah.
right? And they do joint events and things like that. But in any event, HBCUs, hit us up, sponsor. What's up?
Get a free hat.
I don't know how we got to an HBCU sponsor in here, but hey, we'll take it. If you guys are out there, shout out HBCUs. Anyways. So how do you feel about your kids hanging out with the opposite gender? What do you like? Does it happen? Like, has there been situations where?
Yeah, there has been
Talk about it.
family events. So now I might get a little crazy with you. So let me be open and
Yeah,
transparent.
I want
Like,
to be. I want to be.
my daughter, for example, right?
Yeah.
She's getting mature. She's I think 13, 14,
Mhm.
biologically and blah blah blah. So things happen where family, right? An uncle or my brother or whoever shakes the hand because how I've been so brainwashed where I'm offended there. Like I have to tell my daughter, don't shake his hand. The dude should know. And then my son, he's much more older. He has a very good build, slender, tall, and all the great stuffs. But his aunts and other females who are older, mature, they're hugging him chest to chest. So I have to tell him, hey, slant yourself to the right, shoulder first, for example, right? My daughter, for example, don't raise your hand. You walk into a house party, you're getting the handout. Why are you offering? You should be reserved, right? This is just my, I have a very conservative, TJ, go TJ. Lil Wayne, go DJ. But you have to, in my thoughts, and I'm getting a little bit more looser on that. I'm very scared, is the truth, right? It leads to other things, right? So the innocent kids don't know. So
that's where, like, I think, honestly, I think that's like one of the biggest things that South Asian parents, Desi parents fail to realize or fail to do is to address that properly, to handle that properly, right? Like, I mean, what are you gonna do if your kid goes, hey, I have a group project, my group is 2 girls? You gonna say no?
I'm gonna say yummy. No, we can't. I mean, again, one thing as we get into the transition from high school to college, like they're gonna start hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Coffee shops and blah blah blah. You have to trust them. We talked about the tracking. Another thing I was talking to you about earlier is like the best way is a good environment, right? So maybe have your girlfriend go with you,
Okay.
right? Let's say it's 2 guys on a project, you're going alone. Have let's say your best friend, your girlfriend, tell her, hey, join me. So there's another set of eyes,
Yes.
protecting you, watching you. It has to be a trustworthy friend, right?
Right.
Someone.
Have your kids ever gone to a school dance?
No, the kids are too young. I think junior, senior year, my son, I mean, I don't know, but I was hoping he would come up to me because I want to join as a chaperone. But I went.
Really?
No one danced with me, unfortunately. I was like the fob with a par. Shout out to those who still rock pars.
Yeah.
But I was like the smelly Indian in the corner of the dance club or the school dance, and no one really
What if your
danced.
kids ask you to go to school dance?
What-
Starts in high school, props.
Hear me out, brother. Real talk. Every time I pass a dance studio, I want to learn how to dance, and I want my kids to learn how to dance.
That's awesome.
I'm being very honest. I think that's irrespective of the culture, the faith, all of that. I think every one should know how to dance.
Would you let your
Some
kids-
kind of dance.
Would you let your kids?
All of it. Slow dance, school
Slow
dance,
dance,
disco dance,
Tango.
Latino, sorry.
Bhangra.
Bhangra, all of it. I think it's important,
Right?
right?
Can you do a little salsa for us?
No, I don't know, but
Would you let your kids go to a school dance show?
yes, I would. I think it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's talk about that. You would let them go.
Because I didn't really get to go.
One-on-one date? Son comes up here, I'm taking
No,
this
because
girl.
let me tell you why.
Dad, I need some money to take a girl out to school dance.
If her mother joins me, hey, but no, I mean it's a mixed answer, right? It's yes, I would, but I think my beliefs would stop me, right? I think that's wrong because again, it could lead to other
I know
things.
that's hard for you to say.
Yeah,
that.
it's hard.
I'm very surprised you said it. I thought you'd be like, hell no.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say no. That's what I'm saying. There's two folds, but yeah,
I
you're talking about
know.
me.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah. For me, it would be hell no because it would lead to more dangerous things. It'd
But
be
you
hell
said
no.
you let him go.
Then maybe the devil in me came out right now, but
You wouldn't let
no,
him go. You said no.
I would say no. I don't feel bad because
Under
everyone
what-
else is doing it.
Under what circumstance would you say yes?
I would join myself or another adult or another trustworthy friend.
What if it's a group thing?
Yeah, group thing I think would be a little bit more safer, but that's promoting the prom and it's
Yeah.
unorthodox.
Probably go with a group of guys. You may or may not have a date
Yeah, but
with a
you're
group of
still
girls.
promoting. In my look, you might not agree. I think prom is very dangerous. I know everyone does it.
School
my
dance.
high school
Yeah,
dance
prom,
prom.
school dances.
Yeah. Oh, it's my
Or
high
you
school.
just-
My high school sweetheart. It leads to dangerous.
All right,
things.
fine. Let's not talk about prom. Prom's a little bit out there. Okay, what about a social event? What about a social event?
Give me an
at school?
example of social event.
Uh,
Library.
No, it's not a
Theater?
social event. Huh?
Theater, movie.
Let's go to movies with a group of guys and girls. Let's go to the mall with
Yeah.
guys and
Again,
girls.
all those venues, concert. I mean, again, this is me getting a little bit more looser.
Mhm.
I would allow it if there's a good friend going with you that I trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a
And tracking.
There's a circumstance you would allow. There was not a circumstance where where it was allowed for me.
Oh,
Probably
not even for me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I would still do it.
Yeah, we would all find ways.
Yeah, of course. And it'd just be really funny because you grow up in this area. First of all, I'm the tallest person you've probably ever seen,
Show off.
right? And you can't really miss me. So I would go
That's
out
what she
and,
said.
and where would we go, right?
You'll make sure
It's
your
not like
dad
I,
gets his
it's not like I can go very far. I go to the local mall. I go to the movie theater. I go to the local wherever
Bar.
the Dunkin' Donuts, whatever the case may be.
Visit
right?
his cousin.
And 1,000,000%, I would run into somebody that I knew, right? And that got really awkward, right?
Honestly, the more I hit, the more I got caught. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't
exactly,
work.
exactly.
You
right?
can try it, but it always happens.
Yeah.
Like, guilty conscience.
Yeah. And the thing that always comes up with South Asian parents is lokakege. Lokakege means what will people say? Something that we
Can you repeat that and enunciate, please?
log kya kahenge.
Long is people,
Yes.
public, I, and then
Kya
what would they say about?
kya kahenge.
Yeah, what would they say about you hanging out with a girl, opposite sex? So it's a
Thank
big
you.
deal in our culture,
Yep.
unfortunately, or fortunately.
Yeah, it's big. Lokakege is basically what our parents would say to us all the time, right? If we were get caught doing something we wouldn't do, if we asked to do something that wasn't allowed, that's the response we would get. Lokakege. People are very afraid of what others would think about them.
Yep.
Right? To our detriment. To our detriment, I would say. Right? I think in some cases it was right, but for the most part, like caring what other people think about you is not the best way to live.
That's across anything.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to go here, but look yakenge if you didn't become a doctor, right? You became a nurse. Like, I have some family members that they're PhDs in physical therapy in the hospital or nurses with a master's and really qualified.
Mhm.
But look yakenge, oh, you didn't make it to a doctor. Okay, you became a doctor, you didn't make it as a specialist or an ortho or whatever. We're crazy. Like, it's too much.
All right. So
It's not about that, man. It's about follow your drive, your desires, right?
Yep.
In my opinion.
All right.
Career wise, personal wise, but let's move on.
All right. So Shah, did you ever get in trouble for talking with the opposite gender
You mean currently or in my life?
in your life?
Currently, I get in trouble. I don't talk a lot. My wife keeps an eye on me. Love you, babe. But no, I don't think I get in trouble. I get the stink stare, the eye stare. What's it called? But they're looking at you. Like, I remember in college. I went to a university here.
Yeah.
And we came out of class. Some opposite sex girl what's called gender comes up to me, and asks me questions related to an assignment that I got an F on. And I'm like, why would you talk to me? I got an F, and she got an A. hey, she wanted to talk to me. So then, in high school, oh my God, it was so, in the Muslim club, it was so tough. The Indo-Pak club, so tough. Because back in the day, today's a lot of kids are a lot more loosey-goosey. Back in the day, it doesn't matter what religion you were, it was all South Asians. So they'll look at you, they'll give this stink eye, like, why are you talking to her? Or later on, they're like, what were you two talking about? I'm like, why do you care? It'd be the worst prejudgment, right? Away they're jumping into, we're doing something bad, or we have some after school activities that's X-rated, right? That's how the mindset. And I think it's still there with our parents and even other friends, right?
Yeah.
Boy or girl. So I think that's horrible. It's very disturbing.
I have definitely got in trouble talking about the opposite gender. I'll tell you a fun story.
Tell me.
Back in the day, no cell phones, right? So you want to talk to somebody, anyone, guy, girl.
Phone booth.
I use my house phone, right? Obviously.
Oh, that's terrible. I know where this is going.
So
1-800-BABE.
We all have this.
So, you're talking on the phone, and all of a sudden somebody picks up the phone, and then he's all of a sudden everyone gets all of a sudden everyone gets super quiet, right? And you can't, you're like.
And then what's funny is the person actually hangs up because they know you're talking.
Yeah.
I've had that too. They're like, okay, he's talking to a girl, and then hang up. They're proud. Maybe your dad's proud.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a boy.
So nowadays the kids got cell phones, right? Most kids have cell phones at a young age. They can go call wherever they do, and we're none the wiser, right? Dude, it was a struggle out there back in the day to go and talk to the opposite.
The worst is back in the day, you get a page. You don't know who it is. You check your pager, and then you go to the phone booth, burn 25 cents.
No,
they check the voicemail, and then you gotta call them. Like,
listen. There's
the worst.
There was one thing that saved all of us, right? And it allowed us to have any form.
Prayer.
Nope.
Oh, I was close.
It allowed us to have any form of communication with the opposite gender, with the outside world. A lot of us were sitting at home, and our parents weren't let us out the house. Shah, what was it? Shah, what am I talking about?
Nintendo.
Nope. Shah, come on. AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to AOL, saved my life. Those private rooms were wonderful. AOL was wonderful. We're going back in time here, guys. I know you youngsters might not know, but use guys in the 50s, 40s, even 30s know about this.
There's their sound here.
Yeah, the dial-up. Oh,
Ding.
it was the worst. I know you guys know what this is. We'll probably add it in the recording later if you can't hear it. But oh my God, my dad would go to bed right 8-9 o'clock. I would log in.
Wait, what was your screen name?
It's here. It's flying eggs.
It's not your screen name.
I still got it. I have it on calligraphy, but that's why I wore the hat today. But
PK Boy 46. PK Boy 46. You know what PK stands for, right?
Baggy boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
But mine didn't have any relevance. My friends put it in flying eggs or flying eggs. But we put that out there. But it was what it is. It was your name, right? But my dad would go to bed, and my mom would be working third shift or whatever. She'd be gone. So our computer, we had like an external modem, whatever. So when you would dial it up, you use the phone line. The only line we had in an apartment building.
Yep.
It would go, and you would hear that noise that our executive director put in, and it would take forever. It would be so loud. It would be a Friday night or like a Wednesday night. You're done with homework. You hear that noise, dial-up noise. It would connect. You're all excited. I'm chatting away, and my dad would pick up the phone. He had a house phone. We had like 3 house phones in the house, right next to his bed. He'll pick it up, and that'd be it. It would disconnect, and you're in the middle of talking to like some, exciting person.
Yep.
And
Dude,
that's it.
That used to be how we all did it, right? Like you said, technology really helps. Kids today got cell phones.
Oh
text
man, I
messaging,
still miss you, babe.
And our parents.
I'm not talking about my wife, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. Look, that was AOL Instant Messenger was the saving.
Dude, remember the
grace back in the day.
CDs? I still get the CDs. They would send the CDs for what?
Dude. No, honestly though, that was. Text
I'm talking about
messaging.
last 10 years. They were sending AOL CDs.
No one cares. That was the text messages before the text message, right? You got online. I would fight with my brother and sisters for who would get to be online, right? I wanted the late night hours, so that's when everybody was on. And
we only had one computer.
Yeah, and you had one computer. You didn't have 3 cell phones.
E-machines.
You didn't have iPads, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
386, 486, 586, no laptops.
Packard Bell. Anyways,
Bro.
compact. But either way, getting online was like.
And then sharing it. You would have like maybe schedules. You had multiple. I would be there an hour, then my sister would be an hour, and then my brother, for example.
No,
so.
forget that. You just want to be able to catch your friends, catch your girl, right? Like you used to.
Or boy.
The way we used to talk to girls back in the day, or guys for that matter, right? Anyone. Hey, what's your screen name? Right?
Yeah.
That would be like the ultimate flex, right? Like you would, like that, like if you could get a girl's screen name,
You're the man.
you're the man. So let's get back in. So AOL Messenger was how we used to talk with the opposite gender. When you got someone's screen name, that was it. That was your way in, right? Nowadays, people got phones, people got cell phones, text messaging, whatever they need, social media to get with something
Facts.
to talk with someone. Kids, you got it much easier today than we did.
You can get away with murder.
Yeah, but how do you handle that? How do you handle your kids on social media, on Instagram, on text messaging? Talk to me about that.
I'm not doing a good job. I've been telling myself I'm gonna put this in that software, get this subscription. I'm not. I want to, just maybe lazy, very
Are you
irresponsible.
worried about it? Are you
But
worried about it?
kids are really slick nowadays.
Yeah,
There's-
they'll get around
there's a way
everything. Every app, yeah.
But are
I'm
you-
very worried about it. I am. I'm worried about the adult sites. It's getting more and more out there. No fear. All sorts of things on there, not just adult sites. Crazy stuff. You go on the wrong site, it can get you in some major trouble. I'm talking about legally, right?
Right.
So I'm very, very alarmed. I do remind my kids that this is a responsibility.
What about social media? What about text messaging? Do you mind
They're in
that?
all of those. My wife checks in on social media. I don't. Again, I could use so many different words. I'm very irresponsible. I'm very engaged that I need to do it. I'm not, and I need to. So I'm really beating myself up on that. But I need to. I want to know what kind of postings, who his friends
So
are.
you let your kids go on there. You don't do too much monitoring of their stuff.
I don't.
Oh.
But yeah, I need to. Like I said, I don't.
Do you get
unfortunately.
worried about it? Like how do you not? If the thing is out of me, I'd be like, no, I need to know.
It's too much. It'll stress you out. You'll crack. That's just my excuse. My
There you
cop
go.
out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a cop out.
I wish our parents would have thought of that.
Yeah,
they wasn't too stressful.
I want to
for them.
like and I come in sometimes late night
Mhm.
and I see in his bedroom the lights on. He's
Yeah.
trying to hide underneath the blanket, right? So he's surfing or whatever he's doing. Like
Yeah.
I want to maybe cut off the internet on I have control of the Wi-Fi in the house or maybe disable his phone,
Yeah.
or tell him put the phone outside the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right? I've been saying all these rules and I'm very loose with it. It's on me. I got to do a better job. But I'm just telling you.
No, you're loose with it. Why are you? Well, I don't want to say why you're so loose with it, but you're comfortable. Like you're.
I'm absolutely not comfortable. I told you, I feel very guilty about it, very
So
irresponsible.
you want to be more.
Yeah, part of it is like what he just said. Am I gonna catch him? Right? He knows his ways around it. There's
Yeah.
so many damn apps.
The other thing is too with the kids nowadays, they're very into like with their social media. They know how to make money with it now
Yeah.
too. So they could be even trying to figure out ways how to make money. They're into crypto nowadays too. So
Yeah,
it could be a good thing.
absolutely. I think Albert, you're looking at it negatively for a
Yeah.
second for the sake of conversation. This is brilliant what he brought up positively. Why are we looking at it negatively? Yeah, but to me, I'm still not gonna trust my kids. Like I think it's still dangerous. The World Wide Web is dangerous, but
All right.
um,
So the internet, you're letting them on. They're talking to guys, talking to girls. You're none the wiser.
I'm waiting for them to get caught. It's a trap.
Yeah. Well.
Ah.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about getting caught, right? Not getting caught, but let's like, what is your limit? Would you let?
No limit soldier.
Would you let your son talk to a girl? Would you let your daughter talk to a guy?
No, unless there's a main reason, like project and whatever. But no, not just random. I'm sure they have probably messages.
Friends, they have friends that are guys.
Yeah,
you're not
it's gonna get
friends
there. Like I said, it's gonna get there. I'm not happy. Like, how much are you gonna control,
Yeah.
right? And then you get strict with them in the house, sure. Then you get in the cars when they have cars access and they're at
Yeah.
school. Where does it stop, right? So to me, it's training, reminder constantly. I see examples online. I see examples with family and friends. Someone gets
So
arrested.
you're not going to stop them. You're not going to stop them from having.
Unless I have some solid evidence that you got caught at a club or at a bar,
Sure.
that's it, right?
Okay, yes.
It'll be a lot more stricter.
So-
I shouldn't be. This is very.
So you will trust. to
You're pulling my
extent. You'll
teeth
be-
here.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be. This is completely against of what my heart desires.
I know because you're a teacher.
Yeah, and I'm not a teacher. I'm a TJ. In case you're a teacher. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's
yeah.
dude. That's honestly like that's what we need, right? In my opinion, right? Like, my son's too young for this, so I can't tell you what it. But you have kids, right? Like, your kids in high school. Like, I'm sure they're talking to the opposite gender, and I'm sure as you get older, like you said, that becomes harder, right? So you're not going to actively stop them from talking to the opposite gender.
Yeah.
Right.
No, not at all.
You can't. I don't think
Yeah.
you can.
I mean,
right? I think if you
I'm
try,
not gonna physically stop them. I'll remind them.
sure.
Verbally, yeah.
I think that if you try, it's only going to hurt yourself. I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be bad for you.
Yep.
Right? Like in my opinion, like my parents were trying to stop me from hanging out with the opposite gender, from talking with the opposite gender, right? And I did it anyways. And like I didn't get hurt by it, right? It would hurt them when they found out, right? Like it's just like I didn't listen, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just in my opinion, there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
Right? So you're okay with your kids hopping? No, you're not, I don't want to say you're okay. You know that it happens. I'm not saying you're turning the other way, but
Turning a cheek. No.
you're accepting that it happens. So let's move in, right? Let's move into let's talk about this. This is one thing that's really, the next topic's really big for us, right? It's I've been on the right end of this stick, or I've gotten the
Short
long,
end of the stick.
I've gotten the long end of this stick.
That's what she said.
The double standards for guys and girls in our culture.
Oh, it's terrible.
Culture.
Like,
It's terrible.
yeah, we favor, I do it too, consciously, subconsciously. Like, I could be out late, my wife has to be home early, for example. I
Really?
see so many people in public.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of seeing this. Like, you put the scarf on, hijab.
As an adult.
Yeah, adult too. I see the Arab culture.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them out, but like, they have the hijab on. They have the woman has their modest clothes on, and the dude right next to him, no beard, no topi, no hat on, and wearing shorts. Right? Like, why are you oppressing your wife? Right? That bothers me.
I don't think it's just the Arabs. I think it's anyone, right? I think
Yeah.
I think it could be anyone.
Yeah.
But
you've seen it. That's the bottom.
well, you're talking about. Well, I said double standards in parenting, but I think overall as a culture,
Yeah.
you think there's
I was just pointing out that.
double
But parenting
standards
for sure.
You said something interesting. You said, "Hey, I can be out late. Your wife's got to be home by a certain time." Is
Yeah.
that something you stick to?
Absolutely, house rules, baby. Who made those house rules? I did. No, I'm loose on that. I'm just generally, I just think, again, you talk about double standard, right? The women should be home. It's danger out there. Isn't a danger for me, right? And they're taking care of their kids, tucking them in, the last assignments, the snacks,
Yep.
and then going to bed for work next day. I'm out 10, 11 o'clock, for example, right? So, and then you get into school, like the high school, the kids. Double standard. You keep your daughters at home.
Yep.
The boys get to go out. The boys get the car first, even though the daughter's older. For
How do you
example.
feel about that? You have kids. Do you like?
I'm like that too, unfortunately, or fortunately.
No, I can't believe that.
You have to believe it.
You are like
See
that?
it to believe it.
You keep
See
your
it.
daughters at home. You want your daughters.
I mean, my daughters are too small right now, but I'm just telling you what I'm projecting.
Yep.
I could see you call the double standard, you call it favoritism. For me, and I'm sure most of the fathers here will agree, generally, is the boys will be out, right? The girls, you're going to keep them home, right?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree, but they're at risk of being pregnant. Ooh, Jerry.
Look, unfortunately, it's a double standard that's there.
It's there.
It's been
All cultures, man, however you look at it, in my opinion.
a lot of cultures actually. It's not just South Asian. There's definitely a lot of inequality, even in America, right? Women's rights is a lot newer in this country than you would think, right?
Yeah.
Like it's in like
Progressive.
the 1900s, right? We're not talking about like women's rights are 200 or 300 years old, and like real women's rights. Not even real. I would still think that there's still a bunch of women's inequality. In America, the Women's Rights Act didn't happen until what? Was it the 1920s or 30s?
Yesterday.
Maybe even later than that, right? And you can still say there's still inequality amongst that. But definitely amongst our culture, huge double standard with guys and girls, right? So
My country is a V. What's your question?
what's the most ridiculous double standard you faced growing up? Did you see anything? Double standards you saw?
I told you, like, guys would come out with just some shorts on. It's 120 degrees in Chicago, and then the girls have to be fully clothed.
Yeah, that one's tough,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
dude, everybody's hot.
Yeah. So
I think this is one that I feel really strongly about, right? And it's one that I actively try to rail against, right? In our culture, women are simply looked. What's the word I'm looking for?
good.
I think that
Favoritism.
No, I don't think they're favored. Right? I don't think they're favored in that situation.
Okay, I meant oppressed.
Yeah. I don't think they're favored.
I got something, like, now that you made me think, like, it was assumed that the mom has to cook.
There we go.
Yeah. Why does the mom have to cook?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at social media, YouTube now. I see. I'm talking about South Asian. Is you see men cooking. I remember when I was going to
Did
go.
your dad cook? Did your dad cook?
Oh, he throws down. But
Really?
but it's looked down upon, right? My dad still does it in the house, but if someone else
So
finds out,
your dad would cook your meals when you grew up?
yeah, I mean, not like the good stuff, the biryanis and the high end, the naharis. My mom would still do that, but like,
But your dad cooked for you growing
yeah,
up?
but like husband and wife would walk in, right?
My
Kids
dad
would come
never
from school.
cooked. My dad never cooked.
Yeah, but husband and wife would walk in.
Yeah.
The dad would lay down on the sofa,
Yeah.
shower, whatever he's
Yep.
doing. She comes from work. She
Yeah.
probably has a more stressful job, teacher,
Yep.
doctor, whatever it is.
Yep.
And why is she supposed to melt the meat and the chicken and cook and cook and do all of that?
So what do you teach your daughters then? What do you teach your daughters? You have the son of double standard. You've seen it. you want your daughters to be a part of this? How do you like? What do you?
I am working on myself, brother. I am like that too. But for example, we come home.
You are.
Yeah, I am. But I'm working on it. The new generation, I'm evolving.
Tell me.
Is it's not the women that or the daughters or the girls doing the dishes.
Yeah.
I tell my son, hey, it's your day for the dishes,
Yep.
right? And vice versa. Why
Well,
is the man throwing out the garbage? I know that's a man thing to do,
Yeah.
but the woman, I am, and like I was when I went to college, I was dorming, right?
Yep.
And my mom. Now she's like, oh, now you want to learn how to make dal and stuff like that. Why didn't you teach me when I was younger? Because a man's not supposed to be in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And now when you're dorming or roommating, and you're gonna always need to learn how to cook when you get older,
Yeah.
right? And if you're at some off Wyoming or some weird place,
Yeah,
Memphis,
That's why I
and
learned how
you-
to cook, man.
You have to learn how to cook. I think men need to learn how to cook.
Yeah, my dad never cooked, and honestly, I saw growing up my mom's doing all this work, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I learned to cook because, I probably
Survival.
I probably never told. No. I told my mom this. I wanted to take some burden off my mom. Like,
Yeah, beautiful.
Like, let me cook.
Beautiful.
Right? Like, I want to cook for you, right? Like, no one ever cooks for my mom,
Yep.
right? Like, I want to be able to cook for you. That's why I learned. And honestly, and it's good that you make your kids do different chores around the house. Your son does dishes.
But they're not judged off what are you a male or female? I
Yeah.
mean that's the problem here.
Yeah.
The focus should be open.
I would want my daughter. I would tell her, I want you to learn how to cook, but I wouldn't want her to be somebody's slave. Like, hey, go cook something for me like this right now.
Oh, you get into the mother-in-law stuff. That's what they do, right? You marry someone in, it's expected to be the replacement of the mother. So she's
Right.
telling you cook, clean the dishes, clean the bathroom, hold the kid, do the laundry,
Yeah.
and she just came from work.
Yeah.
And then you want her to work as well. That's totally
Yeah,
unfair.
that's there for sure.
And then you see the husband, he's sitting
Yeah.
quiet in the corner, loser.
So,
But I can't stand those guys.
so you have daughters. You try to get rid of some of these double standards,
Yep.
right? They're gonna grow up eventually. Obviously, things like that, right? They're gonna want to get time for them to get married, things like that. As a parent for yourself, right? Like, how do you prepare them to make sure that they're that they're not adhering to these double standards, that they're independent thinkers, that they could do things on their own? What are you doing?
Very easy. Lead by example. I kind of mentioned it. Like they're not going to do one or the other thing. I'm going to divide and conquer, right? And I'm trained. That's like subconscious training, indirect training
Yeah.
when they're getting married, right? Let's say this exercise we talked about, the dishes, the cooking, whatever,
Yeah.
the vacuum, the laundry. You're doing it irrespective of what your age is. If you're in grammar school, high school, college, and post-grad,
Yeah.
you're about to get married, right? Now we got the engagement going. I'm reminding them, hey, you're not going to go to that person's house, whether it's a boy or girl, and vice versa. She's not coming here. Where you come home from work, my son, and you lay in the bed waiting for her to cook. You got to help her. It's collaboration. It's love, true
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem of kind of getting rid of the movement or the double standard.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this double standard, it's unfair expectations and restrictions placed on girls, right?
Yeah.
Really unfair, right?
Yeah.
So like the dress code, for example, right? I understand modest dress and things like that in the culture, right? But I think sometimes some people take it too far.
Yep.
And I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts on this, but the impact on a kid's self-esteem, their confidence, right? Like a girl that's constantly not being allowed to do what their siblings are allowed to do, their brothers are allowed to do.
Oh, mental impact. Yeah, it's unfair. It makes it tough.
How do you get over it right now, right? Like, how do you well, for example, and this is big, right? Like, I know a lot of people. Like growing up, I was allowed to go play sports, and my sister was not allowed to. Right? What about you? Your kids, all your kids.
Today,
play
I
sports,
pushed
and
them
they're
all.
out?
Yeah,
Clubs?
yeah. My daughter is starting up soccer. She's in 6th grade. Oh, I'm all
Good.
about it. Clubs, everything, chess club, checkers, whatever you want to do. I told her to get into drama.
Good.
All of it.
And
It's
you're
a must.
okay, guys, girls, there, whatever. You're fine.
Yep. That is because you're benefiting, right? Take
Yes.
the good from the person, right?
There you go.
You could be at a club or a bar or anything. Obviously, that's a bad example, but that's examples on purpose.
Yeah.
No, really, I really mean it. What good can you get out of it?
Yeah.
What benefit can you get out of this bad situation,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I'm all about that, right? If they can learn how to play soccer, it builds. She's not gonna love for her to be a Olympic star, but if it builds her mentally, confidence-wise, she does well. She studies and it benefits her. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Look, overall, I think what we're trying to say in this situation is you, as a parent, we got to be very careful, right? There's a lot of lessons that we've learned growing up with South Asian parents. I think as people that are first generation that dealt with immigrant parents, we were in some ways held back a lot. We weren't allowed to do certain things, right? And I don't think that we should do the same with our kids. Right? I think we have to help our kids grow, and that's just the long and short of it.
Trust, comfort. Yeah, you're only stressing yourself. The kids are going to become successful. They all make it out.
Yeah,
right.
We have to make sure that we're helping our kids, our youth, grow as a people, grow as a society, right? So that they can go and they can pass this on to the next generation. And they can make it better for the
Set
next
them
generation.
up for success, not
like,
for failure.
like our parents did for us, right? Look, listen, our parents definitely made things better for us. Did they do everything right? No. Right? Did we do everything right as parents?
No.
No.
We're not going to be.
Right?
We're first-time
Right?
parents.
But you're talking about all the growth you've shown,
Yeah,
right? Like
over time.
you've shown that, right? Like things change, and you have to just be able to evolve with that, right? So we'd love to hear about your thoughts about you guys as parents. What are your thoughts on hanging out with the opposite gender? What are your thoughts about the double standards between male and women, male and females in our culture? Do you shelter your kids? Do you not shelter your kids? We'd love to hear about that in the comments. But otherwise, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.